So, I touched a little bit on betrayal trauma with the last live that I did, but I wanted to do a video about it because, like, in America, it's Father's Day. And betrayal trauma is when someone that you emotionally have in your core, someone that you depend on, betrays you. And so when you discover it, you end up clinging to them more tightly instead of rejecting them. And it comes from the kind of pattern and programming we have with a parent. So this betrayal trauma can happen with a parent, it can happen with a partner. But basically someone who does something so awful to you that the betrayal itself is a trauma because of who did the thing to you. When you're a child and someone hurts you, like your parents, you often run to them for comfort. The person who hurt you is the person you turn to for comfort because they are the ones who basically are the people that are your universe, the ones who provide everything that is in your life. And so it is devastating on a personal level to conceive of these people as being people who aren't treating you right or are harmful, not safe, or who don't love you. And so being unable to conceive of that, the child response is to hold on harder. And the thing is that pattern gets replicated in adulthood. So when you move someone into kind of like that psychological position for yourself where this is like, oh, this is the person that I love. This is the person who is my partner. They've now betrayed me. They're the one who harmed me, but they're the one I turn to for comfort. You can end up kind of like replicating that pattern. The term betrayal trauma comes from Jennifer Freyd. She's the one who came up with or identified DARVO. So deny, attack, reverse, victim, and offender. So she's, this is more work in that area. And essentially, if you find yourself clinging to the person who hurt you, hoping that they will love you, and possibly even retroactively looking back and thinking, like, how did I respond in these ways? The reason is betrayal trauma. The reason is that you emotionally have put this person in a place that is so core to your well being that if they harm you, it's devastating, hence betrayal trauma. And it doesn't mean that that's a wrong thing that you did. Doesn't mean you made a mistake. It means that abusers or unsafe people, they use the frameworks, the relationship frameworks that exist that we use to organize ourselves into relationships and families. They use those frameworks to their advantage. They want something and also another thing, and often the things don't go together. So they want to have like a loving child, but they, might be angry at that child, or they want a loving partner, but they want to be able to go out and do things with other people. So often their intrinsic motivations may not be internally consistent, or they may be just straight up liars. So you might be dealing with kind of like that Machiavellian mustache twisting, very intentional abuser. But I think it's hard for victims when the person they're dealing with is not an intentional abuser. It's hard to identify that person because the person who might be an unintentional abuser or an emotional abuser, they may feel sincere. Their emotional state is genuine. The words that are coming out of their mouth may just be in service of their emotional state. And so we take them seriously because we give people we love the benefit of the doubt. And that gets used against the victim or the target. So if you end up looking back and you think, well, how did I cling so hard to this person? How did I continue to love them even though they harmed me? The answer might be betrayal trauma and the fact that the person who was closest to you. The person you relied on for comfort is the person who ended up harming you the most. That's not your fault. They took advantage. They had access to get what they wanted, and also maneuvered themselves into getting more than was reasonable in that position. Anyway, I hope this makes sense, and I'll talk to you next time.